Yo, what's going on? It's Greg Santos, and welcome to the Outlier Circle. If this is your first time joining me here today, what I do is I help isolated outliers who lack a powerful network of mentors and peers, and I help you create a world-class network. That sounds like you. That sounds like something you want. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell, so every time I come out with a new video, you can be notified, you can apply it to your life, and change your life. So I just posted a response to a previous video. Someone had asked me a question about how I was able to wake up at 4 a.m. and exactly how I was able to do that. And on that video, I got a question from Steven. And it reads here, it said, "Hey Greg, I got up early today for me, went for a run in the rain, and I've already written down my commitment to do it again tomorrow." First off, great work, Steven, and not letting the rain get in the way for you getting to work. So it says, "I'd love to hear you go deeper on what you said from 4:15 to 4:40. So far in life, I've been centered around who I can hang out with, who's having a good time, doing fun trips or activities, looking for parties, or looking for girls. I'd love to hear you speak on giving all that up for this. Is there a specific end you have in mind you have for why you're doing this and how you came to that conclusion? Thanks, G." Yeah, fantastic question, Steven. So very simple, man. You know, one big lesson that I've learned, and I learned this fortunately in my probably when I was 19 or at least 20 years old, from Tony Robbins, which is if you want massive success, the best thing you can do is model those who have achieved what is it that you want. Now, the results may not have to be the same, but it can be similar results in terms of the level they've reached in their specific field. So I can learn something from Wayne Gretzky, even though I've never played hockey a day in my life. But there's something that he's gotten this specific result, and he got it in a certain way, and he did certain actions, and I can do similar actions in my own way that would get me to a similar level at the best of my ability and whatever it is that I'm working at in my life. Does that make sense? So a big thing that I observed was, well, who are people that have the success that I'm looking for, and how did they get there? So I looked at someone like Bill Gates or Gary Vaynerchuk, you know, people who sacrifice their 20s that got them to where they're at. And I'll never forget, I was listening to this podcast with Jared Glant. Jared Glant is like Grant Cardone's number 2 man. And Jared started working for Grant when he was 26 years old. And Jared was talking about how he also wanted to have this balanced life as far as he wanted to go out, have fun, and spend a lot, and also build his wealth. But he noticed that he wasn't making huge progress. And basically what he learned from with being with Grant was you got to sacrifice years of your life to work hard. And you might feel like, man, I'm missing out on these parties. I'm missing out on these. My friends are having so much fun and there's so much things happening. Like, I want to enjoy life at the same time. But here's what Jared said. He said, you sacrifice those years, and he's like, believe me, when you get to your 30s, you will be able to party even harder. You'll be able to have even more fun because you built something great for yourself in your 20s. So I really thought about that. Like, okay, that's powerful. But at the same time, like there's so many different sources. Like, I really look up to Kobe Bryant, and the day Kobe Bryant was drafted into the NBA, and I'll put this in context. I want you to think about any professional athlete. When a professional athlete goes professional, that's a big deal. This person just put a lot of time, energy, and effort dominating, going to practices, beating teams, losing, taking coaching, and putting a lot of work to finally make it to the NBA or the MLB or whatever profession that they're in. That's a big deal, right? Because now they're going to be making a lot of money. They can change the lives of their family. They can change their own lives. They're professional, and now this is their career, right? Exciting stuff, right? Well, Kobe Bryant, on his glorious day of getting drafted into the NBA, he didn't go party. Kobe Bryant went to the gym and made 1,000 shots. I want you to think about that. One of the biggest days of his, apparently one of the biggest days of his life, he decided to opt out of partying and go into the gym and work out. That's a powerful mentality to have. And I wanted to adopt that for myself. Like, okay, here's a guy who is one of the best basketball players of all time. How did he get there? Did he get there while also saying, oh, I want to have balance? I also want to go out and party with my teammates. I also want to get drunk and also have all this fun. And I also want to be an NBA champion. He said, no, I want to be an NBA champion. I want to be one of the greatest of all time. And what does that come with? It comes with great sacrifice in order to make that happen. And believe me, Kobe Bryant, you don't think he had as much opportunities? You think he can have met anybody he wanted to and hang out and go on someone's yacht, or like people would have flew him out and would have loved to spend time with Kobe Bryant, party with Kobe Bryant. But he said, no, my goals are more important. So I locked myself in the bathroom for 2 days earlier this year, and I wrote down the answers to the questions: who am I? What kind of life do I want to live? And who are going to be the companions I want to have in that life? And when I say lock myself in the bathroom for 2 days, I took some food with me. I took some water with me. I locked myself in the bathroom. I only left the bathroom to either get water or at the end of the day to go to bed. And then I woke up the next day and I did the same exact thing. And as a matter of fact, I have my notebook here. In total, I wrote about 27 pages worth of who am I? Like, what do I admire? What do I believe to be true about the world? So, like, you can see here. And this isn't like some small paper either. This is legit small ass writing. And I wrote 27 pages worth over the course of 2 days. And no, I didn't leave the bathroom to go hang out or relax or take a nap. I stayed in that bathroom that entire time. And in that time, I came up with exactly what is it that I want. I had to be very clear on exactly what I want, because nobody else knows what I want better than me. And I had to really define, what is it that I really want to achieve? What is it specifically that I want? Now, I got to put myself in my shoes. What is my life going to look like in a year? Well, I wrote it down. Excuse me. Drinking this Red Bull is making me burp. In a year, I'm not going to be dating anybody. I'm going to be waking up early. I'm going to be going to bed early. I'm going to be working every day. And that's what my life's going to look like. What about in 3 years? Well, in 3 years, I'm still single. I'm working hard. And I'm still building my life because I have a 5-year goal. And I have made that decision. I made the decision to sacrifice my social life. I made the decision to sacrifice my dating life. I made the decision to not do what everyone else is doing. And I thought, well, what are my deepest goals? This is what I want. Well, what are you willing to sacrifice? You know what it came down to? I'm willing to sacrifice my 20s in order to reach that goal. That's how important that is. That's how juicy that target is. But you have to take time to really be clear and specific on exactly what do you want. And I think of it in terms of, if I can accomplish anything I want in my life, there's no limits to what is it that I want to accomplish. What would I accomplish? And I write that down, and I would write it down again. I wrote it maybe 4 or 5 times in here. It's boom, solid in my brain, exactly what I want. And it's solid in my brain, exactly what I'm willing to sacrifice. Because here's the thing. So many people, they make the mistake of, well, I want a balanced life. Well, if you want a balanced life, you're not going to be excellent and accomplish a shitload in your life. You think Michael Jordan is one of the best basketball players, won 6 championships because he was living in balance? No, he wasn't. You know, I read in Tim Grover's book, Relentless, that Michael Jordan would go and practice basketball 3 times a day leading all the way up to preseason. He would wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, rest, play some golf, go to the gym, rest, play some golf, and then go to the gym. And, you know, obviously he would eat during the day and all that stuff. But is there any kind of secret here? Is there any kind of wonder why he accomplished what he accomplished? No. You see, a lot of people want to skip the process. They want some kind of magical answer. Maybe this person will tell me the answers, and maybe the answer they tell me will help me skip all the process. And hopefully I can just listen to that and just do that and make it easy. But that's not the case. It's not the case. You cannot skip the process. Nobody is above the process. There's no such thing as an overnight success. If anyone tries to sell you on the fact that you can accomplish a lot in such a short period of time, they're taking advantage of you. They're taking advantage of this instant gratification, thing that you have in your head that is just playing on your emotions. And have you ever invested in any of those programs and then made millions of dollars within 6 months or within a year? No, of course not. What likely happened? You probably took the course, or you probably went to the event or read the book, whatever it is, and probably 6 months later, you probably applied none of it, consistently, and you're probably still in the same spot that you were before. Understand that success takes a shitload of work. It takes a shitload of time. You have to know exactly what you want. You have to be willing to sacrifice so much to get what you want. In the Avengers, when Thanos gets what he wants and they ask him what he sacrificed, and he said everything. There's a lesson there. Sacrifice everything. And you can have fun. You can go out, go look for girls and go parties and go to these social events and have a good time and do all that with your 20s. Hey, I'm not against that. That's not what I'm going to do. But understand, when you decide to do that, you sacrifice the amount of success you could have had. You're always sacrificing something. You're sacrificing your goals for more fun. But you got to think about it. If you want to accomplish a lot, if you want to be excellent, you got to be willing to sacrifice your social life. You got to be willing to sacrifice some really, really, really fun opportunities so you could work on yourself, so you can focus, so you can delay the gratification. Again, bringing it back to what Jared Glant had said. He said that if you put it off, if you wait, if you hustle in your 20s, you'll be able to do a lot more in your 30s. So that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that gives you a new mindset in terms of how to look at this. Again, this is a process. This is not easy. And I don't want to be around anyone who believes that this is going to be easy and is looking for shortcuts, because they're going to make certain decisions that won't necessarily be the most beneficial for the future. You always have to be thinking about, how does the decision that I make today, how is that going to affect me in the future? And if I took this one decision, but not only looking at it in that one case, because it's so easy for someone to say, I'm just going to eat this chocolate, but I'm just going to do it one time, right? That's it. But the thing is, it never is just one time. You keep telling yourself one time, but then that all adds up. I want you to think of it in terms of, if I take this action and it became a habit, how can that affect me 5 years from now? What will be the results of me doing this action 5 years, 10 years from now? Would I be proud that I took this action and I did this consistently over the next 5 years? Would I be happy that I decided to just go out and party and have fun and look for social events and all that stuff? Would I be happy at the end result in 5 years, which is I'll be a little bit behind in terms of what I really could have done with my potential and my life in terms of hard work and investing myself? Or would I be happier with the fact that I made sacrifices, I went to bed earlier, I said no, I was really well disciplined, I made sure that I took care of myself first and foremost, I invested, I applied, I executed, I put all my focus towards that? Well, what's the result that can lead to in 5 years? Yeah, it could lead to some potential relationships lost. It could lead to some, opportunities that were not, like as far as like social opportunities or memories that they created. Yeah, you might lose out on that, but now it's like, all right, I built something awesome for myself. Now I can do that on another level. I can do that way more, way better than I could have possibly done that earlier in my 20s. So is that making sense for you? Hopefully this was helpful for you. That's my thought process behind it. I'm willing to sacrifice the next 3 to 5 years being single, not hanging out with friends. I have one friend that I hang out with. She's an awesome girl. And we probably hang out once every 2 months, if that. And I only hang out with her like after I complete a big project for my business. I don't ever hang out with her. I don't really ever text her either, unless I'm like almost done with my business or my project, or I'll just be in touch with her and say, hey, just thinking about you, hope you're doing all right. And she appreciates that. And I appreciate the fact that she's not someone who is like, feels like our relationship is at jeopardy, or like, how come you don't pay attention to me? Or if I don't talk to them for a while, they get hurt. She's very understanding. She understands the fact that I'm working on myself. She respects that. And I respect the fact that she respects it. And I, when we get together, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not thinking about my business. When we hang out, I am just 100% present with her. And she's a really fucking awesome friend. So, I'm not saying get rid of it altogether, but you don't have to spend that much time with them. And when you spend time with them, spend your fucking time with them. Be super present with them. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. Hey, if you got some value from this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. If you like the structure of these videos, where if you put a comment, you have a question, I create a video on that. If you like that, go ahead and put that in the comments. I would love to do some more of these, answer any questions you may have about hustle, about connecting, about mentors, about whatever it is. So hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.